He came alone, as the first always must. The planet was unmarked on any official star map, a pale orb tucked into the shadows of a failing sun. From orbit, it seemed dormant, gray, cracked, without promise. But the signal had been clear, repeating. Just a pulse like breath. The land greeted him with silence. His boots sank into fine dust. No wind, no wildlife. Just flat plains and smooth stone, stretching endlessly under a cold sky. His ship remained anchored on the ridge. He carried nothing but a pack and a body used to emptiness. It was not his first landing, nor his 50th. He had walked many worlds. Some bloomed instantly, others swallowed him in sand or ash. He did not expect wonder anymore. He came only to confirm. But on the second day, something changed. He crested a ridge and saw color. Not much. Just a streak of green along a shallow basin. A single shoot trembling upright in a crack of stone. He paused, kneeled. The plant was real. He logged it. No explanation. The soil remained sterile by every metric. On the third day, he saw water, a trickle along the rock, forming a shallow pool. No rainfall, no cloud. He tasted it. Sweet. That night, he dreamed for the first time in weeks. Nothing coherent, just warmth, a voice without words. On the fourth day, he found a structure. It was not there before. Small, low to the ground, seamless like bone smoothed by time. No doors, just an arch carved into its side. Inside, silence and shadow. It felt empty. But he returned the next day, and the next. The landscape began to soften. Stones shifted to sand. Dust gave way to soil. Tiny sprouts pushed up through cracks, always where he walked. Behind him, a trail of growth. Ahead, still barren. He did not speak aloud. But he thought often. Memories surfaced unbidden, his brother's laugh. The orchard near their childhood home. A face he had forgotten, smiling by firelight. On the seventh day, the structure had changed. The arch now held a door gently ajar. Inside, a room, a table, fruit. He did not remember stepping inside, but he tasted it. The fruit. It was like nothing he had eaten before. Sweet, yes, but more than that, it made him feel remembered. When he stepped back outside, the sky had shifted. Warmer tones, like dusk held in place. Birds wheeled in the air. Their calls were strange but soothing. He checked his logs. The atmosphere had shifted. Oxygen richer. Pressure stabilizing. By the 10th day, there were buildings. Not ruins. Not alien. Familiar in shape and material. Wood beams, smooth stone paths. They clustered near the basin, beside a stream that had not existed 2 days before. He entered one house. It was his, not a copy, not a replica. The walls bore scuffs he remembered. A dent by the table where he dropped his gear years ago. The blanket draped over the couch, the one his mother had woven. He sat down. He wept. Outside, something bloomed. Fields stretched beyond the basin. Orchards bent heavy with fruit. A breeze moved through tall grass like a sigh. He stayed. The messages from the ship's AI began to repeat. Inquiry became warning. Then silence. Eventually, the system shut down. It had waited long enough. He did not return to it. He walked the gardens instead. He saw others now. Never clearly. Always just at the edge of vision. Laughter echoed in the trees. Footsteps whispered through the grass. Once, a hand brushed his shoulder. He turned. No one. But he felt peace. On the 15th day, the archway called him again. The structure was taller now. The door, wide open. Inside, light. It drew him. Not urgently, but gently like a thought returning home. He stepped through. The chamber within was no longer bare. It was vast. Pillars of radiant stone reached into a sky he had never seen. Marble underfoot warm to the touch. At the far end, a throne waited, empty. And then, slowly, it wasn't. He saw himself upon it. Clothed in gold-stitched fabric, crowned, serene. Power radiated from his posture. He looked older, yet unmarred. Surrounded by light. Worshippers knelt in rows, countless heads bowed. He blinked. The vision remained. Behind the throne, windows opened upon the world outside. But it was no longer quiet. The fields were cultivated, the cities rebuilt. Spires of elegance in glass, clean air rising in thermal ribbons. People walked unburdened, laughing, and all of it under his gaze. Here, a table was set. Men and women sat in reverent silence. When he passed, they rose. No words were spoken, but he knew they waited for his blessing. They loved him. They needed him. A woman approached, beautiful beyond description. Her eyes spoke devotion. Her hands offered rest. She touched his chest and said nothing. He did not flinch. He turned. The images shifted. An army assembled in the valley below. Thousands, no uniforms, but they moved as one. At the front, a banner unfurled, his symbol, unremembered until now, a circle within flame. They waited, weapons lowered, in perfect silence. He descended steps that had not existed moments ago. They parted. No sound, no breath. He raised his hand. The wind obeyed. He looked up. The sky no longer held a sun. It held his name, burning in constellations across the void. The very air shimmered, thick with promise. And the planet spoke, not in words, but in knowing. It wrapped around his senses like silks, warm and intimate. The visions deepened. The people, the buildings, the armies, they breathed, moved, waited. The voice of the world beneath him whispered like wind through tall reeds. All this I will give you if you will bow. His heart pounded. His breath slowed. His fingers trembled. But deep within, a verse stirred. He mouthed it quietly, not as resistance, but as truth remembered. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. The palace crumbled. The throne vanished. The sky darkened. The city outside fell silent, the illusion peeling away like ash and wind. The fields grayed. The glass towers cracked. The people disappeared. Only the dust remained. He stood alone. At the edge of the structure, a stone bench waited. He sat. The dust settled. Above, the real stars returned. He breathed. And the planet, still barren, still broken, felt real again. He smiled and walked away.